This video is brought to you by the Glasgow University Charity Fashion Show. This year we're raising money for Refuigi, a brilliant charity based here in Glasgow, who aim to welcome and integrate new refugees into the city. If you want to find out more or donate, be sure to click the link in the description and it will give you all the information you need.
Rail replacement bus services are in operation.
What's everyone saying? It's your boy Someone Exposed back again. I'm here today in Hammersmith in West London, and I'm walking down to this infamous landmark down the road here to ask a question. What's going on with Hammersmith Bridge? What is going on? We're gonna see, and I'm gonna take you along with me. Let's go.
Welcome to Hammersmith Bridge in West London, one of the many bridges that spans the River Thames, the second longest river in the UK. In its history, Hammersmith Bridge has been subject to a lot of issues, has had a number of closures and created a lot of hassle for cross-river connections between the communities of Hammersmith and Barnes. Let me tell you how. The first incarnation of a bridge crossing the river here began construction in 1825 and opened in 1827 at around a cost of £80,000, equivalent to just over £7 million in 2019 money, and operated as a toll bridge. Designed by architect William Tinney Clark, this was the first suspension bridge to span the River Thames and was seen as an alternative path to Kew Bridge and Fulham Bridge across the Thames from Hammersmith, a fashionable and up-and-coming, I hate that phrase, village in those times. And it only lasted about 57 years until the government said nope, new one por favor. The tolls on the bridge were abolished in June 1880, and as a result there was a marked increase of traffic along the bridge that it could not handle. Its thin width had to handle both vehicular and foot traffic, eventually meaning that a replacement was needed. And so it was commissioned. So that's how we ended with the current bridge. This bridge was designed by Sir Joseph Bazalgette and built on the same pier foundations used for the first bridge. Thanks Wikipedia. Opened in 1887 by Edward VII, Prince of Wales, this bridge cost a 2019 equivalent of £9.2 million to build. Since then, there have actually been a number of attempts to destroy the bridge. Not sure why, because it was probably crumbling already by then anyways. Sad reacts only. Seeming not to learn from the first bridge, the current bridge was never built to handle the levels of traffic it had before its current closure. Even with it being a new bridge, there's been a lot of work needed to maintain the structure. In the 20th century at least, we've seen partial refurbishments in 1973, failed tower bearings in 1984, replacements of 1973's refurbished parts in 1987, a 17-month partial closure between 1997 and 1998 for essential repair works, and probably more that none of us even know about. The bridge was declared a grade 2 star. 2 star? That's 2 star, right? A grade 2 star listed structure in 2008, meaning it is now classed as a particularly important building of more than special interest. According to Historic England, this counts for only 5.8 of all listed buildings in England. Therefore, this meant it needed to be maintained to a certain standard due to its noteworthiness. In 2014, a comprehensive structural integrity review was called. This review aimed to see if the bridge was structurally sound. Hammersmith and Fulham likened the review to peeling back an onion, and the review discovered microfractures in the bridge that had appeared due to decades of unchecked corrosion within the suspension structure, and basically, moolah, money, dollar was needed to fix the bridge. This problem, resulting from the previous century, had exacerbated to an extent where a 1 bus weight restriction had been placed on the bridge in May 2016 by the borough. A barrier had been placed on the bridge which drivers had to scan to access the bridge. This only lasted for a few months though. Plans to go ahead with £27 million refurbishment works were delayed initially till 2018, and it was only seen in 2020 that extensive works were needed. The bridge had then also closed to motor traffic in April 2019. According to the borough, in August 2020, sensors positioned across the bridge alerted engineers to rapid and sudden increases of threatening microfractures in the cast iron that holds the bridge's suspension in place. Basically, the bridge was screwed. This meant an urgent closure of the bridge to all traffic on it and river traffic under it too. Since the closure, there have been a number of proposals made for the bridge's refurb. It was estimated that it would cost £46 million to stabilise and £141 million to fully stabilise the bridge so that motor vehicles and buses can use the bridge again. The problem is finding this money. It's a right pain, and it doesn't help how there's a whole virus and a panoramic, which has meant a shortfall in many council budgets. So that leaves us with today. Well, I filmed this in July, so not really today, is it? The bridge had opened up to foot and cycle traffic that month, and I thought I'd see what the vibe was like in this part of Londinium. One thing that happened as a result of the closures was an extensive reorganising of the bus network around the bridge. The route map around the bridge used to look like this. That's if I can actually find it. And now it looks like this. And that's if I can actually find it as well. A number of alterations to bus routes on both sides and a couple of new routes were created to minimise the impact to regular crossers. A new bus, the route 533, which I'll cover later on, helped fill the gap for those who needed it. Certain routes were extended or diverted initially, and depending on the work's progress, this could change even more. The only bus that could take me from Hammersmith bus station to the north bank of the bridge was the 72, which originally used to cross and head down into Roehampton. The approach up to the bridge was very quiet for a summer's afternoon. Let's see what was going on further down. There were signs all across the bridge highlighting the works going on and the importance of the bridge. Cyclists were allowed to travel on the road part of the bridge, which was barricaded from the pedestrian parts. I found the pedestrian paths on the bridge much narrower than I would have liked. The skeptic in me would have felt a bit nervous to stand at the edge in case I fell in. I also did feel like the bridge was weaker than a few of London's busier road bridges, to be fair. Nevertheless, there was no way to cross without appreciating the finer details of the bridge up close. Along the south bank, and the north to be fair, the Thames path provides a scenic route along the Thames that stretched from the Thames barrier in the east to Kemble in Gloucestershire in the west. From here you can appreciate how beautiful the bridge is.
It does feel like to me that Hammersmith Bridge should just be pedestrians only. I don't know, it just gives me that feeling, you know, pedestrians and bikes, but it does seem like it's a major thoroughfare, especially from Hammersmith down to Barnes and this part of South? You mean West London.
Now, it was time to get back to Hammersmith. For those that aren't able to cross the bridge, this is where the 533 comes into play. The route runs between Hammersmith bus station and Castle Knoll, non-stop through Chiswick, onto Chiswick Bridge, Mortlake and Barnes. The journey from Castle Knoll takes about 20 minutes and has some nice views, to be fair. As of July 2021, in the case the bridge needs to close again, the future of travel across the Thames at Hammersmith Bridge will fall into the hands of temporary ferries. These ferries will be operated by Uber Boat by Thames Clippers. Check out my video on them. If needed, the ferry service will run 7 days a week from 6 AM to 10 PM and will cost a fare of £1.55, with the bus hopper fare eligible on this route. Able to carry 1,100 people at peak times, I anticipate it will be a vital addition to make the river crossing accessible. As I reach Hammersmith, I've got to say it will be a long and expensive task to fix Hammersmith Bridge. However, its listed status will mean that the bridge will keep its iconic state whatever happens to it. Let's see when the next closure will happen, then I'll be back again to pay £1.55 to cross the river. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe, drop a like and also drop a comment of what you want to see in the future. Don't forget to donate to the GUCFS, the Glasgow University Charity Fashion Show fundraiser, link in the description. It's been your boy Summon Explores and I'll catch you in the next video. See you in a bit. Peace. See.